Sometimes these big billion-dollar companies listen to their customer base and walk away from DEI. Here's one of those stories for you, and it's a store I frequent. Sometimes retailers screw up and they don't wait for billions and billions and billions to lose in their stock market price. They act quicker. Here's an example of one of those. This store, this is called Tractor Supply. It has 2,250 stores in the United States, 50,000 employees, and they sell basically farm products. I shop there. You can get pet stuff for your animals, which I do. It's always packed. They went nuts. And about a month ago, they went way DEI. Well, bad news. The majority of their customers are farmers.
Is it bad news or good news?
I was making a joke. Bad news for Tractor Supply, because these rural customers freaked out and they said, we're not going to a store that's pushing DEI for hiring, for putting these posters up in the stores. We just want to buy animal feed and vitamins for our animals and hay and straw and corrals and so on, right? So the stock price starts plummeting. They lose hundreds of millions of dollars, but they moved quickly. Here's the quote. This came from, I believe, the president of the company. Quote, "We work hard to live up to our mission and values every day and represent the values of the communities and customers we serve. We have heard from customers that we have disappointed them. We have taken this feedback to heart." They threw out all the DEI, as we could call it legally, crap. And then everybody calmed down. And they didn't pull a Target, right? And they didn't pull 24-hour fitness.
They didn't double down.
Yeah, they didn't go crazy like Bud Light. They said, you know what? We've disappointed you. You're our customer base. We're going to listen to you. We're not Target where we're going to expand the LGBTQ display at the front of the store because you don't know what you're doing, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. They just said, we threw it out. Swimming champion Riley Gaines, who's been protesting for, about a year and a half about men swimming with the women, setting women's swimming records, coming into the showers with all their men parts dangling and out the open. She said she congratulated Tractor Supply for listening and responding to their base. Other retailers like Bud Light and Target have seen significant financial losses over customer unhappiness with their customers' activism. You're right, Riley Gaines, and they ought to listen too, because if you alienate your customers, they'll just go someplace else because there's a lot of places to buy stuff, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I don't know what DEI has to do with tractor supplies and pet supplies. It has nothing to do with it, right? So to my understanding, and I think we talked about it before, there's an organization that's connected with the United Nations that has implemented this DEI woke agenda for all of the businesses and companies throughout the world. They have given them a new credit score. And if you don't implement this new DEI, then your credit score is pretty much crumbled as far as you're being able to be on the market, the stock exchange, et cetera, et cetera. So what happens, all of these companies that are getting pushed with this new DEI credit score, they all comply with it because they want to remain on the stock exchange on a certain way, and they want to have certain benefits because this new global agenda is forcing it. Well, trailer supply companies said, well, we're losing more money by complying to this DEI nonsense. It would be to their interest, the best interest for them to just ignore it from the get-go, saying we're not going to get involved. That's not something that we do. But they've allowed this organization to control their corporations. And I think we saw this happen right before, how do I say it? Before President Trump left office. You remember they implemented this thing to shut down all the businesses, and just think about it, Barry, all of the businesses that complied with the DEI, they stayed open. I don't think anyone actually recognized that. All of the businesses that complied with the DEI stayed open, even Nuttywood and even parts of Disney, because they applied to the DEI. I mean, look, think about it. And all of the businesses that were not connected with DEI, a lot of these small businesses, mom and pop shops, et cetera, they got shut down. Some never to return.
Wow.
And that's the reason. And think about it with the churches, because a lot of churches were not going along with it. And they shut down so many churches throughout the country. Not Churches Chicken. They help. I'm talking.
I get it.
They shut down a whole bunch of churches, and some of those churches will never open their doors again.
You got it.
DEI destroys.
Well, that's why it's so important to pay attention November 5th.